Happy Sunday. Welcome back to SSS After Hours. Welcome back to the budget Skyline builds. I know it's been a while. I got some updates and a bit of a story for you. So cue me from like 2.5 months ago, something like that. Okay, if you remember last time, Jovi and I pulled my transmission and then reinstalled it. And then later that night, my turbo exploded. So now, it sounds like this. I'm sure you're all wondering what I got. And it is exactly what this car deserves. Cheap. So that went about as well as you can expect. I'm gonna go through why, what's happened for the last like 2-ish months, and kind of where we're at right now. First of all, why? Honestly, there was not really another choice. I want to say that I wanted to keep it on the budget build, on brand for that, for the internet and for the series and yada, yada, yada. The truth is I just don't have any money. I could not afford to buy a Spectrum kit or any other real turbo brand kit to replace the factory turbo. I didn't want to put another factory turbo on it because I'd be spending a couple $100 to put another turbo on it that I know the weak points of. It's going to fail again. And it'd be a 20-year-old used turbo. I didn't really see the point in doing that. It was an option for sure, but I went with a different option. And it was, honestly, I'm driving or I'm not driving. Either a factory turbo or going with a MAXPEEDINGRODS turbo was going to be a risk. And I chose the MAXPEEDINGRODS turbo, and I don't regret it. Even though we're sitting where we are right now, I don't regret it at all. So it was honestly a question of continuing to drive this car or not, and that's why I made that choice, and I don't regret that choice at all. And I'm not going to recommend that you make that choice, but if the choice is driving or not, honestly, do it. And we'll get into the downfalls of making that choice or having to make that choice. It is what it is. So what's happened for the last 2.5 months-ish, or however long it's been since I did that? I think it was about 2 months. Install went really good, actually. Normally on a eBay turbo, install is going to be a bit of a pain in the ass. This one wasn't. I did buy a kit, like a turbo that is specifically a replacement for the RB. It is for this engine, so it came with all the right gaskets. It bolted right up. I had to clock the core a little bit just because the oil and coolant drain and feed lines weren't lining up quite properly, so I just had to clock it a little bit. Not a huge deal. You get what you pay for. So that was all it was, and then the rest of the install was actually really smooth. We had to fix the downpipe anyways because, as you may remember, I had pliers holding the downpipe on before, so now I no longer have a leaky exhaust. I no longer have pliers holding the downpipe on. Downpipe did bolt right up, so as far as I'm concerned, install, A+. Great for what you're paying. If I had paid $1,500 for a real turbo and I had to clock the core because it wasn't clocked right and it was a bolt-on, then yeah, it would have been a little bit unfortunate, but honestly, no big deal. Super chill install. Dyno went super great. Dyno day! Ali King Tuner is going to tune the Skyline.
Here where the boost starts to creep again.
Yeah.
Basically it holds 14 pounds and then it creeps up to like 16 and a half over here.
So this is kind of where the downfalls kind of start to happen. So in my very limited amount of research I could find for this turbo on an RB, because who in their right mind is going to put a cheap turbo on a very expensive engine other than me? So not a lot of research on the internet, but in what I could find, boost creep was a very common issue, and it's because the wastegate hole on the MAXPEEDINGRODS turbo is smaller than the factory one. So most people recommend, machining it out. We opted not to do that. I want to say it was purely because I wanted to research and see what happened and document it. It was also a bit of laziness, but we wanted to send it. We wanted to see what you get out of the box. Someone without the tools to be machining out a hole like that, or the experience or the knowledge, see what they would get, see what that product would be. And I don't regret that we didn't do that. You know, I kind of wish we did in hindsight, but at the same time, I wanted to see what this product was. $300 turbo, like, I wanted to see what it was like. This is a budget build. This is what it's all about at heart, is following along as if you're doing this in your backyard and not in a shop like this. So we didn't machine it out. It did creep on the dyno, generally speaking, as the advice of Wyatt and Jovi, who have a bit more experience. Generally, you don't want to run those cheap turbos above 14 PSI. Kind of depending on the situation, but generally speaking, you don't want to give them a reason to fail. You want to treat them nicely. And so we targeted 14 PSI, I was happy there, but it did creep up to about 16, 17 PSI pretty consistently on the dyno, and we knew that going in. Probably should have done something about it, but whatever, the injectors were keeping up, so it was fine in my eyes at the time. And then I beat the shit out of this car. If you come to local Edmonton drift events at all this summer, you've probably seen this car out. I've been sliding the hell out of it, and it's been great. I've had zero issues with the car. Like, it has been fantastic. I've loved driving this car. It needs a lot of setup. We've been doing a lot of setup to it. I'm excited to show the setup and stuff. We just recorded a video, so the next video should be some setup on this car and what we've been doing to it, which is really fun. I've really enjoyed setting this car up and having a car that I can set up and progress my driving as I'm setting it up. So that's been really, really fun. The last 2 months have been great with this car, to be honest with you. It's been fucking awesome. I have had no turbo issues until the last week. It's been wonderful. I love this car so much more than I should. It's an incredible car. So now, where we're sitting currently. So turbo's blown up. Short story. Turbo's blown. It is the bearing failure. It's got in and out shaft play on it. Somehow it's still making boost perfectly fine. So the story of finding it, basically, I did an oil change, I want to say about 2 weeks ago. Was a little skeptical, so we decided to cut open a filter. I didn't really see any material in the oil, but I kind of had a feeling. So we cut open the filter, and there was material, but only on the inside of the filter, which was very strange. Now, Jovi's theory was that it was residual from the first turbo that blew up, because that was also bearing failure. I was skeptical of that because I drove the car with that factory blown turbo to the shop. So I drove it with that bearing being gone, and I cut open the filter afterwards to double check, and there was not a lick of anything in that filter. So I thought it was fine. You know, we thought maybe it was residual from that. So we put another filter on it. I did one more drift. I did 2 more drift events. I told myself I was only going to do 1 just in case. There was back-to-back events. I ended up doing 2. But again, it was running fine. It was boosting fine. It was running fine. It was not knocking. The first time we cut open the filter as well, Jovi said, this is enough material that, there should be issues in the bottom end. If this was bottom end material, there would be issues. And there's 0 issues presenting themselves. So, oil filter on, send it. So I sent it. Earlier this week of this video being uploaded, I cut open a filter. I didn't even have to cut open the filter. I didn't do a full oil change. I just pulled the filter off. And even just dumping the filter out into the drain pan, there was material in it. It was glossy. So we also cut open the filter. Again, material everywhere. But again, I was crashing. I was my engine's blown up. This sucks. I couldn't even afford to buy a real turbo for this car. I know damn well I can't afford to rebuild this engine. But again, it wasn't knocking, and Jovi was really skeptical and confused. And so we took the intake pipe off the turbo, and sure enough, there was shaft play. So the bearing went in that. And it has unfortunately shot brass through my engine. Any material in an engine is not a good thing. But at the same time, it's a Nissan, it's an RB. The magic hasn't been let out. If you ever owned a Nissan, when you don't open them up, they work great. The magic is still there. So I'm hoping it keeps going for at least the rest of the summer. we'll see what happens. Like, only time will tell. It was brass, at least, so it is a pretty soft metal, and hopefully it hasn't done too much damage. Hopefully it keeps going. It runs great. Like, I cannot stress enough how magically well this engine runs, and it freaks the hell out of me because it still ticks in the top end, but it just runs. It runs so good. And even like with the shaft play that it has, the turbo boosts. Like, that material came out while sliding, and I could not tell that it was going. Like, it boosts great, it runs great. I drove it home, I drove it to the shop to do this. I've driven it in and out of the shop. Probably shouldn't be doing that, but I have been, and it's running great. So that's where we're at. The actual failure of it, bearing for sure. Honestly, I should have been checking the turbo more often and checking for shaft play and stuff like that, but it was boosting fine, so I never really thought to do it. It was never smoking, nothing like that, so I just kind of never thought to do it. I should have. If you're going to buy a cheap turbo, do that, but I didn't, and now here we are. We knew about the boost creep. The other thing Wyatt has mentioned, that it sounds like my blow-off valve might be not working or not helping the situation, because he doesn't really hear blow-off. It's just turbo flutter. I'm a media guy. I don't know. It makes cool sounds. That's all I know. So we're gonna look at the system, see if we can pinpoint an actual failure point and prevent this from happening again. Now I'm gonna tell you why I don't. For one, I don't regret it. I'm not gonna tell you I recommend it, but I kind of recommend what I did. Like, I have a warranty turbo coming. No questions asked. I sent them a video of the shaft play that happened, and they're sending me a new turbo. I'm paying $50 for shipping, and I'm getting a new turbo. That's the second time I've had really good experience with MAXPEEDINGRODS support on their products and getting warranty replacements on, they're cheap parts, and like, it shouldn't have failed when it failed, but I paid $300 for this turbo. Like, $300 shipped for this turbo. And I got 2 of the best months I've ever had sliding out of this car. And it was either none of that or, possibly blowing a turbo up. And I'll take possibly blowing a turbo up in the last 2 months I've had any day of the week. It's been great. So, do I recommend it? No. If you have the money, don't buy a MAXPEEDINGRODS turbo. Buy a Spectrum. I wish I could have bought a Spectrum or any other brand out there. Like, if you can, don't do what I did. But if it is a question of driving or not driving, do it. Send it. Like, I cannot stress that enough. Understand the risk that you're taking, and don't be mad when something does happen, and do your research and see, what other people have had for luck with it. But I don't regret it. Do it. Do it. Buy the eBay turbos. Jared's Corolla's on an eBay turbo. It is literally no name. There's not a name on it. I think he bought it used, and it's been running great for 2 years. He blew a head gasket before he blew his turbo up. Ali's BMW, that thing's making 400 wheel. He does not drive that thing nicely. It is just a street car. Mitch's eBay turbo, MAXPEEDINGRODS turbo is on the dyno right now for his drift car. It's having spark plug issues, not turbo issues. So I don't know. Do your research. I don't recommend it, but do it if you have to. Don't be scared. Be skeptical, but don't be scared. That's how I'm gonna put that. That's where we're at. Thank you for watching. Stay subscribed. Uploads are back every 2 weeks. I'll get to that weekly uploads at some point. I don't know. I have a bunch of footage I'm sitting on. It's just the time to edit that I'm struggling to find, but we're back on the SKYLINE. I got another video queued up of a bunch of setup stuff on this car, so get excited for that. Come out to events if you're local. Southern Boat would be next, and then Stratobash. This car will be at Stratobash. This car will be there. That is the one goal for this stupid car that I love so much. It will be sliding at Stratobash, along with Mitch's car, and Jovi's car, and Jared's car, and Wyatt's car, and Brett's car. We have a pit of like 8 people. It's gonna be awesome. Get excited, stay subscribed. If you haven't watched the other videos on this car, go get updated on this car. Links in the description. Shout out King Tuner, Tuner Hub, Ali. Love the guy. Could not have done this without him at all. So thank you very much. And merch, other links, other socials, all that stuff. Go check it out. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
If you've enjoyed the SSS Motorsports content, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more videos.